Did you know that anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the US, affecting 40 million adults every year? That's more than the entire population of California. Imagine every single person in Los Angeles, San Francisco, and San Diego grappling with a relentless surge of worry and fear. It's a staggering reality that underscores the sheer prevalence of these disorders. Yet, despite being so common, anxiety remains misunderstood and often goes undiagnosed. Anxiety isn't simply feeling stressed or worried, it's a serious condition that makes it hard for people to cope with daily life. Now, let's unfold the mystery of anxiety. You see, anxiety is like a shadow that lurks, often unnoticed, in the corners of our minds. It's a constant sense of unease, a relentless worry that doesn't just pack up and leave when the sun sets or the workday ends. It's a persistent guest, overstaying its welcome. Anxiety is not just about feeling stressed or worried. It's more than that. Stress and worry are normal reactions to specific situations, like a challenging work project or a big move. But anxiety, particularly anxiety disorders, are different. They're not tied to one specific event or situation. They persist even when the stressor is gone. Think of it like this. Imagine your mind as a lake. Normal stress is like the ripples caused by a single stone. The ripples are large at first, but they gradually fade away. An anxiety disorder, on the other hand, is like a constant rainstorm. The ripples never get a chance to settle. The lake is always disturbed, always unsettled. Anxiety disorders are a group of mental health conditions that include generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and various phobia-related disorders. They involve excessive, long-lasting worry and fear about everyday situations. Often, the anxiety is so intense it interferes with daily activities. It's like being stuck in a cycle of worry and fear that you can't escape from. A never-ending loop of what-ifs and worst-case scenarios. It's a battle, often fought in silence, that can make even the most mundane tasks seem insurmountable. But here's the thing. Anxiety doesn't define a person. It's not a character flaw or a sign of weakness. It's a health condition, just like diabetes or heart disease. And just like those conditions, it can be managed with the right treatment and support. So, how do we recognize anxiety? Let's dive into the 30 signs. Sign number 1. Excessive worrying. This is more than just a nagging concern. It's a relentless loop that saps your energy and keeps you on edge. Picture a friend who can't seem to shake off the thought that they've left the stove on, even when they're miles away from home. Moving on to sign number 2. Sleep problems. It's the classic chicken or egg situation. Are you anxious because you can't sleep, or can't you sleep because you're anxious? Imagine tossing and turning in bed, the quiet of the night punctuated by the loud ticking of the clock, a stark reminder of your sleeplessness. Third on our list is irrational fears. This isn't about being scared of spiders or heights. It's about an intense fear that's out of proportion to the risk involved. Think about an individual who can't leave their house for fear of being struck by lightning, even on a cloudless day. Next, we have sign number 4, chronic indigestion. Anxiety doesn't just mess with your mind, it also plays havoc with your gut. Picture someone always reaching for antacids, their stomach in knots, not from something they ate, but from something they're worried about. Sign number 5, panic attacks. These are sudden episodes of intense fear that trigger severe physical reactions when there is no real danger or apparent cause. Imagine feeling your heart pounding like a drum, your breath coming in short gasps, and you can't understand why. Sixth, we have muscle tension. This is the constant clenching of your jaw or balling of your fists, often accompanied by aches and pains all over your body. Picture a colleague who's always rubbing their neck or complaining about a headache, their body mirroring their mental stress, and the list goes on, all the way to sign number 30, agoraphobia, or the fear of places or situations that might cause panic, helplessness, or embarrassment. This is more than just not wanting to step out of your comfort zone, it's not being able to step out of your front door. Imagine feeling trapped in your own home, the world outside seeming too big, too scary. It's important to know these signs, to recognize them not just in others, but also in ourselves. Ignoring these signs can lead to severe consequences. That's a statement that should not be taken lightly. Untreated anxiety is not a silent issue. It echoes loudly in the chambers of our lives, leaving a trail of potential negative effects in its wake. Physical health problems are just the tip of the iceberg. You see, anxiety is insidious. It can creep into your body, causing headaches, digestive issues, and even chronic pain. The stress it puts on your body can lead to more serious conditions such as heart disease, diabetes, and high blood pressure. And it doesn't stop at our physical health. Let's talk about the emotional toll. Anxiety can cast a dark cloud over your relationships. It's like a wedge driving itself between you and your loved ones, causing misunderstandings and straining bonds. It can make it difficult to trust, to communicate, and to understand each other. It can make you feel isolated even when you're surrounded by people. But it's not just about relationships with others. Your relationship with yourself can be impacted too. Having constant, unaddressed anxiety can lead to low self-esteem and a negative self-image. It can make you question your abilities, your decisions, and your worth. It can trap you in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. Now, let's think about your overall quality of life. Living with untreated anxiety can be like walking on a tightrope. You're always on edge, always waiting for the other shoe to drop. It can make you avoid situations that you fear, causing you to miss out on opportunities and experiences. It can rob you of your peace, your happiness, and your ability to live freely. It's a heavy burden to carry, isn't it? But the good news is, it doesn't have to be this way. Anxiety is not a life sentence, and it's certainly not something you have to face alone. Recognizing these signs is the first step towards getting help and managing anxiety. So let's take that step together, because you deserve a life free from the chains of anxiety. Acknowledging anxiety doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. Anxiety, like a shadow, is an inherent part of us, and it's crucial to recognize its presence. It's like a warning light on your car dashboard, indicating that something might need your attention. Ignoring it doesn't make the problem disappear. Instead, it allows it to grow. By acknowledging anxiety, you take the first step towards understanding it. It's like opening a dialogue with yourself, a conversation that encourages self-reflection and introspection. And that's a strength, not a weakness. It's a testament to your resilience, your courage to face what's uncomfortable, and your determination to seek help. When we talk about help, it doesn't necessarily mean professional help, although that's highly beneficial. Help can also come from friends, family, or even a supportive online community. You're not alone in this journey, and there are people out there who understand what you're going through, ready to lend an empathetic ear. Now let's talk about vulnerability. Vulnerability is often perceived as a sign of weakness, but it's actually a sign of strength. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to bare your soul and let others see your struggles. It's a powerful act of self-love, a declaration that you value your mental health enough to seek help and make changes. Acceptance, on the other hand, is not about resigning to a life dominated by anxiety. It's about acknowledging its existence, understanding its triggers, and learning to navigate through life with it. Acceptance is empowering. It's the realization that you have the ability to manage this aspect of your life. That anxiety doesn't define you, but is just one facet of your complex, beautiful self. Finally, remember that seeking help is not a sign of defeat, but a step towards victory. It's about taking back control of your life from anxiety. It's about learning to coexist with it without letting it overshadow your potential, your happiness, and your peace. Remember, anxiety isn't a life sentence. It's a part of life that can be managed with the right help. It's about turning the page, starting a new chapter where you're not just surviving, but thriving. And that, dear friends, is the power of acknowledging anxiety. Anxiety might be common, but it's not invincible. This is a truth we must all grasp. Recognizing the signs of anxiety, acknowledging its presence, is the first step towards overcoming it. We cannot let it fester in the shadows of our mind, unchecked and unchallenged. The path to a healthier mind starts with awareness, followed by acceptance. The journey isn't easy, but it's necessary. As the saying goes, the first step towards change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. Let's start by recognizing and accepting anxiety and take the first step towards a healthier mind.